Marcy Wheeler. But before we do, many of you have probably seen this story. It's all over the place that on his trip to Japan, Donald Trump, famous for having an issue with John McCain having an issue with Donald Trump. They didn't like each other, folks. There is a warship called the u.s.s. John McCain. It was named after John McCain's dad. When John McCain passed, they recommissioned it as being named after both of them. Donald Trump did not go to that ship and speak to the the seamen who are in around Japan, stationed in Japan. He went to a smaller boat called the Wasp, I think it is. And my friend Larry, who was a naval seaman himself, Larry Murphy, tells me that boat's small. That's a weird boat for someone to go on at the time. And it has come out that apparently the White House not only wanted to avoid the u.s.s. John McCain, but put a drape over the name while he was around so that he didn't see it. And none of the seamen, I think, stationed on that boat were allowed to hear his talk. I mean, classy stuff. Here is Donald Trump explaining that he didn't know anything about it. It was his underlings. It's a wonderful exercise in watching Donald Trump's cowardice. But it also, I think, has some relevance to what we're going to be discussing today in terms of the Mueller report. Here is Donald Trump.
Do you think it's fair to the sailors of the John McCain that they were banned from hearing you speak simply because they served? I don't know what happened. I wasn't involved. I would not have done that. I was very angry with John McCain because he killed health care. I was not a big fan of John McCain in any way, shape, or form. I think John McCain had a lot to getting President Bush, a lot to do with it, to go into the Middle East, which was a catastrophe. To me, John McCain, I wasn't a fan, but I would never do a thing like that. Now, somebody did it because they thought I didn't like him, okay? And they were well-meaning, I will say. I didn't know anything about it. I would never have done that.
You owe the sailors of the McCain an apology.
No, not at all. I heard sailors all went on. We had a tremendous group of sailors from various ships. It was a beautiful day. But the McCain thing, I knew nothing about.
Okay. Now, maybe you can choose to believe Donald Trump or not choose to believe Donald Trump here. That's irrelevant. The fish rots from the head down. And the head of the fish is certainly rotted. There's no reason to believe the rest of the carcass is not also rotted. But what this also exemplifies was something that we were talking about when the Mueller report was issued. And again, you don't have to read the whole report. Read the first two chapters. You'll get all you need to know. It was clear that Mueller's task was very narrow in terms of looking at the question of what we colloquially call collusion, but there is, of course, no legal, there's no crime you can commit with collusion. He had to look at something very specific, which was a very specific conspiracy charge, wherein, with the two things that the Russian government was involved in, that is the hacking and leaking of the emails, and in the social media shenanigans, did anyone from the Trump campaign actively coordinate with those people to do that stuff? Did they trade material aid to each other, essentially, in doing it? And they found that they did not. Or I should say, he did not find sufficient evidence to find that they did. That's more accurate. He specifically, Mueller, or the report specifically says, we do not in any way That does not in any way mean that we didn't find the two parties weren't working in concert. In other words, and they go on to say that one party did something that the other party reacted to. The second party did something that the first party reacted to, but they never coordinated those things. It's almost as if like you know or anticipate what the other person wants and then goes ahead and does it. So maybe Donald Trump doesn't say to any of his staff, I hate John McCain. And if I go there, I don't want to see his ship and I don't want to talk, and I want to actually disgrace the ship in some way by taking it out on the sailors. Maybe Donald Trump did not say that. Maybe we believe Donald Trump, that his staff knows that he hates John McCain and goes and does something that they know will be pleasing to his staff. To him. And then Donald Trump is like, you guys did that and gave me deniability. I'm not going to coordinate anything with you, but here's a raise. Here's some job security. You see the point there. There's collusion in some fashion. They know what each other wants. But there's no conspiracy because they haven't coordinated it.
Won't someone rid me of this troublesome aircraft carrier?
Indeed. And I think if you read the report, you see that there's a lot of that. If you have the other 30,000 emails, Russia, go ahead. The Russians are thinking, do you think Donald Trump wants to win? Yes. Let's talk to someone not affiliated with the campaign. Is this a good time to drop these emails when this tape comes out?
This also might be why the Trump administration is so understanding about Mohammed bin Salman and Jamal Khashoggi.
Yeah. Sometimes people just get the idea that they want something done and they do it. And you can't, these things happen.
They came from a good place. Their heart was in the right place.
Their heart was in the right place. Yeah.